Oh, well, it's just a really disappointing set of circumstances to have some of your players, Indigenous players, racially vilified. It's something that as a club we're probably not going to be able to stop, but we can certainly make a stance and support our boys and look to really continue and educate not only myself and other people within the footy club, but people in the wider community too, that we really need to stop this type of behaviour and stamp it out.
Well, as soon as the incident happened on Saturday, the club was really supportive of all of us Aboriginal players. They were all getting around us and supporting us, and we're making sure that they were going to send a report to the SFL. And yeah, it was just really helpful that we had a great club around us that supported us throughout the incident.
The Southern Football League do not tolerate these sort of incidents. There is a racial vilification policy, which was a copy of, was handed to all of the clubs. We will also look to reintroduce a education phase going forward for all of our member clubs.
The president and the vice president from the SFL come over and we're basically just telling them what happened on Saturday, and they were telling us what they were going to do to find out what happened. And yeah, we're basically just telling them all the information, and then they were saying that they were going to solve the issue and just a whole bunch of information. But yeah, it's good to have the club back us in, and no matter what happens. Firstly
and most importantly, if you identify that type of behaviour, you need to call it out immediately and hold them account for their actions. And also, secondly, as a club, we just don't engage in any of that type of behaviour whatsoever.
As a member of a footy club, it doesn't matter who you are or what you look like, you should be included. Our club's always had that policy. I was extremely proud on the weekend when our boys called it out, and that just showed how supported these guys feel while they're at the footy club.
Like kind of saying, like a lot of other players and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people would say, is it's a common thing, you know, unfortunately, in our society at the moment. And I guess it's unfortunate that, you know, we're trying to play footy and be as inclusive and diverse the game is. It's you know, disappointing that that kind of stuff still is hanging around.
Speaking for the boys, I think they're still hurting. They're still hurting, that sort of stuff. I can't even explain how they feel, because I've never been in their shoes. Just the way they were speaking, I can tell they're hurting still, and it'll take a bit for them to feel back up to speed again. The response to this incident's been incredible. The Noarlunga community has always been one which is inclusive, and it's just been there for everyone to see over the last week or so. The way people have got each other's back at this club is one of the great reasons for being here.
Tonight it was really good. We had Kyam Ma come down with Dale, president of the Kilburn Footy Club, and also Gavin Wanganeen, and they shared their support for us in regards to the events that unfolded last week. They also shared some stories and their experiences and really congratulated us as a footy club on how we went about dealing with the situation.
When he mentioned to me that you guys as a footy club and as a team and the players who supported the Indigenous players was really outstanding. So I just want to commend you on the support that you gave the Indigenous guys. From a united front, I just want to congratulate you for setting a wonderful example for your club, and hopefully to the other teams and the rest of the association. You know, hopefully they'll jump on board and follow, you know, the great work that you did on the weekend. The Indigenous guys would be really hurting from hearing that stuff, you know, constantly. Probably growing up, really. And just to give you a little bit of a story, for me, growing up as a light-skinned Aboriginal fellow, I didn't really cop too much racism, but my cousins did, because they were noticeably more, you know, Aboriginal. They were a lot darker than me, and I always went into bat for them, to protect them and help them. And this is a long time ago.
It's not just a football issue, it's a community issue. And as such, we being part of that community, need to go forward with the assistance of our Aboriginal friends to try and make things better. Education from little tackers all the way through, hopefully will bring about change.
On the footy field, we've come a long way. It's great. Players have that respect on the footy field. Might be a slip up every now and again, which is unfortunate, but in the AFL, it's pretty much been stamped out. The AFL have done an amazing job to recognise Aboriginal culture. We've got our Dreamtime game. We've got the jumpers that are done to celebrate culture, and you know, the MCG is up in lights celebrating Indigenous culture Australia-wide. That's absolutely awesome. But unfortunately, we've got to somehow get to the odd person or two in the crowd who's making it a much bigger thing than hopefully what it really is. And it's great that you guys can really jump on board and support your Indigenous teammates and set a wonderful example. Well done, guys. Thanks again.
We'll be wearing our Indigenous Guernseys on the back of last weekend. We've had the centre circle painted in the Indigenous flag colours, so we really want to show a stand of solidarity and support for our Indigenous boys and really celebrate what they bring to this footy club.
Well, we're wearing the Guernseys today, but it's also a lovely touch. I walked down from the top. You know, it was lovely to see the Aboriginal flag painted at the centre of the oval, and I suppose that's putting it front and square that we're sending a message to the boys that we're right there with you and we're supporting you through this process, and letting them know that they feel welcome and that they feel a part of this club. And I think that's important, that we all feel a part of something in the bigger picture.
The players can always rely on the support of this football club, no matter who they are.